the She Angels Foundation. I'm also the podcast host of Invest in Her and an award-winning producer, author, and TEDx speaker. Our show, Invest in Her, features phenomenal female founders and funders. As you know, women receive less than 2% of venture capital funding. Our series is about accelerating the funding of women by connecting them to funding resources. Let's meet today's guest. Welcome to Invest in Her podcast. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors. And today I have on a dynamic guest. She's a real disruptor in the art and technology arena and NFTs and blockchain and all that stuff I know you guys want to know about. I know I want to know more about it. She is one of the few Latinos that have raised over $1 million in funding for her company, Alpha.io. Please, let's welcome to the show, Manuela Seve. Hi, Manuela. How are you?
Hi, Catherine. Thank you so much for having me. I'm great. It's a beautiful day in LA.
Yeah, beautiful day. You know, I'm reading through everything you do. And before I get to, talking about blockchain and NFTs and how it's affecting artists and how it is impacting governments and, what is Web3, like all of those questions I think all of us have and that you're an expert at. A little bit about you. You were sharing with me, you were born in Brazil.
I was born in Brazil. I was born and raised in Brazil.
Yeah.
And I went to an international school. That's why I get this question all the time. They're like, how do you speak such good English if you're from Brazil? And so I was actually alphabetized in English, and my dad was in New York and I was in Rio. So I was kind of like back and forth. Lived in New York on again, off again for most of my life. And then in 2020, during the pandemic, picked up my stuff and moved across the country to the West Coast. And here I am now.
Great. So we're both in LA. I love that. And by the way, just FYI, Rio is one of my favorite cities. What a cool place. I got to go to a film festival in Sao Paulo, and I was like there, and I'm like, I have got to see Rio. If I'm going to be in Brazil, I got to take a flight over, see Rio, stay at the famous Copacabana. It was a great experience. Yeah.
Did you stay at the Copacabana Palace? It's a good spot. Yeah, it's a good
really
spot.
Cool. Yeah. So, but I just love the people from there. It's a really warm and welcoming country, and just had the best time. You guys are never on time, though. Am I right?
Well, it drives me crazy. That's why I don't live in Brazil, because I'm a very punctual Brazilian, and so I was constantly waiting for people. It's like they'll schedule a Zoom call and they'll be late for a Zoom call, which is unbelievable.
No, it's funny. I remember them telling me, be in the lobby. We're going to take you all out to dinner at 8. And like, they showed up at like 10.
9:30.
Like, are you kidding me? So the next night they said, be in the lobby at 8 for dinner. I went down there at 10. There they were.
You're learning quickly.
Right. Well, okay, so I digress because I like Brazil, but you're one of the few Latinos that have raised over $1 million, which is really a sad situation and something that I'm very focused on us, bringing attention to. I have a film coming out to talk about how underfunded women are, as well as people of color and LGBTQ, and how we can fix that, but for today, we're just going to talk about what an amazing feat that is that you raised that kind of money. Was that from a combination of angels and venture capital?
Yeah, a combination of angels and venture capital. We've been around for a minute as well. Like, we were pretty early to the blockchain space. And, we kind of like stumbled on the technology through our art licensing platform. And so we've been, lucky enough to have some amazing investors like Metaprop. We came in through Lightspeed Scout program, through New Age Capital, Chingona Ventures, that were really supportive on our journey. But, you probably know these numbers, but Female Founders Fund put out a report a couple of months ago. And even though, women only receive 2% of investment dollars, and if you look at Latinas and women of color, that falls down to closer to like 0.02, we do produce, I think, about 12% of unicorns. So we are a great investment.
Absolutely.
Now is your chance to get in,
I'm so glad you brought that up. And what you're doing is really trailblazing and cool. And, like many women like yourself that are super, brainiac and successful. You're doing so many things. I want to focus on a couple of them. So one is the art and technology, because what you're doing is revolutionizing what happens for investors. And I was just watching you on a panel. I mean, did I say investors? I meant to say for artists. Revolutionizing what you're doing for artists. And one of the things I saw you talk about on a panel was that often an artist will sell their painting for, like, let's say when they're not very famous, $500. And then when it's sold later, years later, when they're famous for like $5 million, they get no percentage of that. And that your art and technology is really addressing that issue. And that is really cool, that every time it's sold, they get a percentage. So this is revolutionary.
Yeah, and it's not just for art. Every use case that we take on, we ask ourselves if it solves three problems: authenticity, resale, which you've just brought up, and community building. And that's what the blockchain is here for, right? So what we were just talking about is the resale royalty, which historically has never existed, not just in art, but in most of the creative industry, which means that you're building a huge bucket of wealth for a group of individuals that have historically not been a part of the secondary market, which is way bigger than the primary market. And so, what the insertion of these resale royalties means is that this is the best time in history to actually be a creator, a content creator, a movie producer, a musician, because you maintain ownership of your, material, whatever that is, regardless of where it ends up in the world. You're always compensated when it switches hands, because we can build that into the smart contract. And it doesn't have to be an astronomical fee. It could be 2%, it could be 3%, it could be 5%. It's something that, it's lower than sales tax, but it's going back to the creator. So it's such an important movement for the industry to accept that, authenticity and resale are now going to be computed through blockchain, and more specifically through NFTs, that are still strongly associated to kind of like these digital versions of artwork. But that's really not the case. And an NFT can be associated to anything: real, digital, a physical asset, a house, etc. It's just basically a digital receipt that sets the rules of engagement of that community and of that creator.
Yeah, I think that's what people are having a hard time grasping, because it's a revolutionary time that things are changing. And so, yeah, people don't get what the NFT means. And then, like you said, it's so much bigger than people even think. It's not just digital art, like you're saying. And I know, even so, you also, not to digress from the art, but you work with governments too with this blockchain to help them implement it into state and federal government. You've been working closely with Gavin Newsom, I know. What does that look like? Because what you said on your description is that you all are to smart contracts what Shopify is to e-commerce. What does that mean?
So we're an enterprise SaaS solution. So like Shopify or Salesforce. Salesforce is a great.
Tell people what that means.
SaaS is software as a service. So we provide software that enables old school industries to enter the Web3 space and to benefit from the efficiencies that can be gained through blockchain. So once again,
I just say to enter, wait, I want to stop you because I want people to understand. Did you say to enter the Web3? Did you say 3?
Yeah, Web3. Let's take a step backwards then.
Yeah.
So Web2 was the internet, right? And there's a very interesting quote by Mark Andreessen in the 1990s about why the internet grew to the magnitude that it grew. It was the highest growing technology in the history, I think, of technology, and it's basically because people just want to belong. They want to be part of something that is bigger than themselves. And that is exactly what Netscape did. It unlocks the potential for people to connect, regardless of systems that they were using, computers that they were using, if they were in their office email or if they were, in their personal email. It created a tool for everybody to meet somewhere digitally. and to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And what Web3 is it's a new flow of information. It's more of a back end revolution than it is a front end revolution. There's a lot of people that are not even going to realize that they're entering the blockchain space, but there will be a lot of efficiency gained in the processes that we're implementing on the back end. So a great example is healthcare, right? So one of the things that we've been talking about extensively, and now we actually have a client that has reached out to us about putting this in place, so we're very, very excited about, is people should own their medical records. They should have a non-fungible token, aka an NFT, associated to themselves, carrying their entire medical history. How many visits you've done to the doctor, if you've been to the hospital, whatever illness you have, allergies, etc. And this is all embedded into one place where you can pull up your entire history as a person. And you can then present that.
So this is so interesting because everyone is talking about NFT being art, but the non-fungible token, which is NFT, you're telling me could be your medical record.
It could be your medical record.
Yeah.
It could be your medical record. It could be the MLS on your house. It could be the insurance in your car. It could be anything. That's the whole point. What we need to understand is non-fungible tokens can relate to anything, and they will relate to everything in the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, so that's why it's a back-end revolution.
So let's say you have an NFT for your medical records or for your house. This means this way you don't lose the deed or lose the paperwork. It's on this blockchain, right? How safe is that? Could somebody hack that blockchain, or is the idea of the blockchain that it's so safe and protective?
So security will be an issue regardless of system, and that's why you implement tools such as two-factor authentication, encryption. Public blockchains are really, really safe, unless you have the hash address of where that transaction lives, which would be really hard to get unless you were to like hack someone's wallet and take their keys, etc. But it's less about the security of someone taking your stuff, because you're always going to be, subject to someone taking your stuff in even in real life, right? Someone could come and steal your car, but more about the security of the data itself, because it's fully immutable. What is blockchain? Why is it called blockchain? Let's go even backwards, right? They're blocks of information that are connected via chains, which means that every action is recorded on that same ledger, versus a database where you throw everything into that database and you could delete different areas of that database, right? So you'd lose the record. The whole point of blockchain and why it is useful for asset ownership is it can hold the entire asset history in one place. So you can pull up the provenance of that asset with one click.
And not to be morbid, but I would assume that then when people pass away, this is going to make life easier for whoever is taking care of them. They go into that blockchain and they find everything there: titles, medical records, mortgages, car loans, everything, instead of going, oh my God, where are these things stored, right?
For sure. And that's kind of like the idea of where we're going with Alpha. Our system is really, really easy to use. It feels just like a regular website. You can easily log in by two-factor authentication and a magic link. There's no need for a crypto wallet. You've probably heard of crypto wallets with those crazy passcode phrases, and then you forget the passcode phrase and you can't access that anymore. We feel like that is not enough for the 99% to step into blockchain. For the 99% to step into blockchain, you need to use a system that you're familiar with. You need to use your email. You need to use your phone number. You use things that are linked back to your person. And, on your wallet, you'll be able to keep all of your stuff. So as I said, the deed to your house is in an NFT. The insurance of your car is in an NFT. Your health insurance personally is in an NFT. All of the things that you own. So if another use case that we're working through is with a luxury brand. So usually when you go, for example, to Chanel to buy a bag, It comes with a little card inside it, which is the warranty and the certificate of authenticity of it, right? And everybody loses those little cards because they're impossible to keep. That's the whole point. So what we can do is connect straight into the brand POS system, and the POS is just the point of sale. So you go into a store to buy something and they have a credit card machine that is connected to that POS, right? And we can pull the serial number of the item, the color of the item, the name of the client, whatever unique identifiers the brand wants to have, that, and mint an NFT that is then associated to that client and will then live in their wallet. So now all of your stuff is safely kept in one place, and you can very simply transfer ownership.
So your medical records would be in that wallet. Your house mortgage would be in that wallet. Your car loan would be everything would be in that wallet. How is someone like me going to set up that one blockchain that's in my wallet that has everything in it? Like, has that already started? How would I do that? Is it something of the future? Like, fill us in.
Yeah, it's absolutely already started. We're working on two really big projects now. One of them is for it's a couple of NBA teams. So we're starting with the Bucks. It's launching at the beginning of the season. And for sports fans everywhere, we're already going to be able to organize commemorative tickets, signed items that you may have bought in the past. So balls, jerseys, etc. Unlock really cool in real life experiences that are offered in now in terms of loyalty tiers. So let's say you're in stadium, you collect the commemorative ticket just by scanning a QR code in the stadium. That goes into your wallet and you actually get the golden ticket. And so within stadium, we can airdrop you floor seats, and you're moved from your seat, wherever that is, into your new floor seats, or you can come and, enjoy the lounge that we've built for NFT holders. So what blockchain is doing is unlocking the power of community and unlocking these connections that can be made in this hybrid model between the physical and digital world, which is where we see a lot of the value coming down the line. We're still going to be living in the real world. The metaverse is great, but we still need to eat food. We still need to see other people. We still need to wear real clothes. And what blockchain can do is organize these interactions between physical and digital at efficiency, at a ton of wealth for content creators, even for the actual athletes in the sports fans. We can build in resale royalties for their autographs down the line. And so just create a way more equitable future where people are actually compensated for the things that they've created historically.
And so if I went to alpha.io, your company, would I be able to set this up for myself as an individual at this moment?
Of course. We have an off-the-shelf platform, alpha.io, where you can just come in and start minting your own NFTs by a click of a button. You don't need to know anything about technology. All you need to know is how to upload an image and fill out a form, and you're ready to go. Or if you're a company and you're looking to put together a white labeled solution, which is the bulk of our business, you can reach out to us for a demo, and we'll build you a system just like ours that you can operate on any public blockchain, and make it real easy for your own customer data, database to be united under your own tokens.
Now, give me an example of that. Like, I'm a company that is like what? A retail? Like, could it be retail clothes?
Yeah, it could be retail clothes. It could be sports teams. It could be a medical provider. It could be real estate developer. The sky really is the limit.
Okay, so what would a person that owns a clothing, because I have somebody in mind, what would a person that owns a clothing company do? They'd come set up, and what would this service be that they're getting on Alpha.io? They're setting up what? Because you said white label. What does that mean?
So going back to the Chanel example, right? What we'll do is we'll build them a platform where their clients can log in and see all of the NFTs of the items that they've purchased. So they have these warranty cards basically in digital form, all organized in one place. Then the brand itself can offer exclusive experiences for clients that maybe have 2 bags or 3 bags. Then they get granted access to, a special environment that they've built in real life. So it could be a clubhouse, or they get offered exclusive pre-launches of future bags that are, made to order for those clients. It's really up to the brand what they want to do with that information, but we're able to create these collectives for them, and we're able to solve for the client so that they can now keep their stuff safely in one place.
Right. Okay. So a clothing company could come in and set it up, make a community out of their customers, and be able to tell their customers, hey, we have this new item coming out, or we have this big event you can attend, things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I'm starting to comprehend it. I don't know that I completely can grasp what you're saying, but you know what? It's a learning
Slowly
curve.
but surely. Slowly but
Yeah.
surely.
Yeah.
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 It's only the beginning, you know?
Yeah. And so what kind of thing are you doing with Governor Newsom? Like, how does the government use this?
So the government is just really interested in learning more about these use cases that we're just talking about, just like you. So I've sat with Senator Booker and Senator Gillibrand about, and we're just explaining things that we're doing. We're talking about our clients. We're talking about the opportunities that we're creating, especially in the creative industry, what this means in terms of impact, what this means in terms of wealth generation, creating opportunity. There's also a widespread access to capital, which was not available yet for people of color, for Latin Americans like myself, because the technology really doesn't see where you're from, it doesn't see race. It's just there to provide technology and to connect you with your community in order to make these projects come to life. So it's a really, really exciting time to be alive. It's a really exciting time to be, in this technology. They just want to understand how they can create legislation that is supportive and that will keep jobs in America and that will, keep us developing and make sure that, that the end consumer is also protected, because there was a lot of weird stuff that came through this first digital art boom of NFTs. So, be careful when you're investing in any new project. Make sure that it makes sense. Make sure that who the salesperson, who the company is. Make sure they're reputable. It's the same thing as any new industry. There's going to be good things, and there's going to be scams. So, just watch out for the scams and understand that the technology is coming. Once again, as I said, not to change the way that we live, but to make it more efficient and to create more opportunity.
Yeah, I love what you're saying, and to help us understand that this is a back end thing and that people have been misled to think that NFTs are only having to do with digital art. But thank you for explaining that it has to do with all things in our life as just being a source of being able to track those things so you don't lose track of them. That's a great explanation. Thanks for sharing that. And I love that it does help more artists to make more money with their art, with their content creation. Speaking of that, I've just mentioned earlier, we have a film coming out. How would a filmmaker utilize this platform?
Sure. So, let's say you're looking to fund a film, like that's the simplest use case, right? You could pair with a visual artist, create a poster as like the physical token for the film, add a bunch of utility to it. So let's say that the people that buy that poster that has an NFT attached to it, they get granted an exclusive premiere. They get a share of future ticket sales. You set kind of like the rules of engagement between you and your supporters, and that poster represents kind of like your contract, right? So your accordance between the people that are agreeing to support that picture. And as the picture goes up in value, as it gains more notoriety, the poster itself also goes up in value because it has all of those neat utility features attached to it. And you can go off and make your movie and produce it even before having to shoot a sizzle.
Well, so let's say you're rolling out a fundraising campaign through one of these entities, whether it's GoFundMe or Kickstarter or We Did It or something like that. Could you put that NFT as one of the selections? Like you can order this poster and for a certain amount of money, and you get the actual hard copy of it?
Yeah, sure. You could do that. The
So
point
how would
with
we
my,
use
the
your
point with
technology to do that?
just one second. The point of a GoFundMe is people are just giving you money, right? And they're getting
Uh-huh.
nothing in return. The whole point of using an NFT is they're getting something in return. There's tradable value. They're an
Well, like in
investor.
a Kickstarter, they might say, well, you get 2 tickets or you get to be on the set or whatever.
That's tangible. That's intangible, right? It'll disappear once that's done. The whole
Yeah.
point of the NFT, it's somehow associated to the physical, to the movie itself, and so it has intangible value. It'll live forever, and so it'll always have trading value. It'll build value. If you add enough utility to the project and to the roadmap.
Right. And is that a digital piece of art or a tangible piece of art, or it could be both?
It could be both. It could be both.
Okay.
Client's choice. It's client's choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks. Every time we have this conversation, I feel like I learn a little bit more. What's your game plan now? Are you still raising funds?
Yeah, we just opened up a small round. Like now during LA Tech Week, we were selected to be in the demo day, so we took some advantage of that. We're raising a small safe and should be done in the next month or so, hopefully. And we got some incredible people on board, and we just need to hire a lot of people. We're the amount of use cases that we are offered on a daily basis. It's gone from a company that had to do biz dev from a company that is just we're over flooded with inbound. So we need more people ASAP.
Yeah, no, totally. You are right place, right time. No doubt about it. And just a wealth of information about it. Can't wait to see where you go, but I know it's going to skyrocket and can't wait to actually learn more about it. Thanks for sharing all this information, letting us pick your amazing mind about it. Alpha.io, and how would they reach you?
Alpha with 2 A's. So alpha.a.io.
Yeah, alpha with 2A's.io. And Manuela Seve, you spell it S-E-V-E, Manuela S-E-V-E, on LinkedIn for those that aren't watching the video, but just listening on Apple or Spotify. They can find you on LinkedIn and Alpha, are you on, I take it, Instagram, Twitter, and whatnot?
Yeah, we're on all the things. So on Instagram, it's Alpha AIO. Or my personal Instagram is Manu Seve. We post a lot of short form content, master classes around blockchain, around real use cases. So, just if you're interested in learning more about the industry, if you're interested in kind of like chatting about, different use cases for your own business, how we can bring you into the Web3 space, please reach out. And on Twitter, Mother of Alpha. So that's my personal.
Love it. And I'm just going to reiterate again, it is ALPHAA. So 2 A's on the Alpha and the .io. Great. I would love people to reach out, learn more, maybe invest. That's always a plus. And just really appreciate you sharing this. It's amazing what you're doing. Can't wait to see where it goes. And hope I'm able to learn this more because it's fascinating and I know it's here to stay. And very cool. Thanks so much, Manuela. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. And, feel free to reach out at any point. Think of us as a resource.
Great. Please look up Manuela Seve at, that's S-E-V-E, at LinkedIn. Of course, you can find me there as well, Catherine Gray, and look for us at She Angel Investors as well. Everybody make it a great week. Remember to invest in her. Take care. Remember, if you're looking to launch a business or grow your business, check out our e-course, 6 Ways to Fund Your Business, available at She Angel Investors.